my name's Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. Today we're picking away a trigger there and we've got everything tidied up the way we want. We had to move some things around that just weren't going to fit right, as it normally is when you start doing things like that. And we had to trace a bunch of our wiring. I had a small problem, my horn wasn't working this morning, and turns out the horn itself, because of the type of switches up there, has to be wired backwards. So it's actually, when you're pressing the button up there, it's actually grounded it. So we have to take a live to the horn and then up there. And then when you hit the ground button, it activates the horn. Just a small thing, but I had to tear a little bit of wiring out to do it. But in any case, we got things pretty well tightened up. I got one tank on there. I'm just replacing all the fuel lines that are on it because they're old and crusty. See here, it's all breaking away. So we don't want to leave that on, as well as around the ends are all frayed up. We're just going to pick away and get that end of it done up there. Then we have to take the master cylinder off. I've got a new rebuild kit for that because we're going to use a new brake. Now the newer brakes are usually with the .4 on them. This is a 2014 brake, I think Frank said. So they use .4. So we're going to flush the whole lines out and everything. I have to put a new brake light switch on. It's not working. So I might as well just take everything off, flush everything out, put a new kit in, then it's all .4 all the way through. So we're just going to pick away at it today. Stick with us. I don't know what it'll bring. We do have to get the back wheel off. We'll see if we get to that today. All right. I'm gonna try to get these things on myself here today, but Pauline's out on the run. We can get something on there to start with. There we go. Now, try and get that fuel line in there. That will be a trick. It's the overhead crossover line. Right there. Get a couple threads started in here. All the way you hold your mouse for this stuff. The trickiest one is going to be down in here. My spacing between the tanks. We want to make sure everything can be snugged up and without any undue stress being put on anything. One step at a time. Just out by a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. I'm just going to work away at it for a bit and see where that gets me. So we got the tanks on it there, and now we're just starting to get at the other things. I put the oil filter bracket back on. I know my horn's all good now. So now we've got to take the brake lines off, get them off, and get the back wheel off. So I'm just looking it over before I start digging into it. And looks like we'll have to slide the trailer hitch off first. It's going to be the easiest way. And then start getting some of the things like the caps and small stuff off of it. Let's see what size those are. They're little axle caps, something else I made for trigger, just to cover everything up. I did put bigger Allens in them than you usually get in these kind of things. The littler Allens always seem to strip, but I put 1/4 ones in these, so they got a nice big bite in there. And you don't get the chance of them stripping out when you're trying to get them off after they've been on for quite a while. Alrighty, so in order to get that off, give myself some grief before we get started. Right off so I can clean them all. We could probably get the brake off and get that out of our way. One less thing to have to fool with. Anything that looks good, but to be truthful, on the 10-inch discs and stuff, they never seem to really work right. I don't know why. We use the 5/8 cylinder adjusted for them. pad for the stainless brake just didn't cut it. So now she's gonna get new and improved. Newer style brakes and one of my new brackets on there, so that'll help. So we're just working getting the hitch off now with something that's close. Always one you gotta fiddle with. And we've just disconnected our wiring from up here and just fed it back down through and cut off a few of the twist ties, the twist tabs that were tie wraps that were holding it on. There we go. That's out of the way. Oh, those things flying apart on me. God, my day. Next we'll be looking for a master link, I guess. So now we'll try to get a master link off if we can. Sometimes I use a little blade to put in there behind, so when you pop it, then you can pull the front of the clip out. You can see I've got the blade around the front piece of it there, so that when I spread it and it starts to pop, then I'm able to pull that out and slide my clip around like that. Sometimes can be pretty hard to get out of there. Make sure I keep my O-rings. 1, 2. Still got quite a bit of tension on the chain. Thought I had it loose enough there, but looks like it's not. It's not gonna want to pop out over that. Short an O-ring. There it is. Stuck on the back of it. Make sure and get all your O-rings. Although I always keep a selection of them. Extras, in case you lose one. And we just put the clip all together and set it aside. Now, we've got the adjusters off it. And how easy she's gonna come out. It's not gonna. Now we're just gonna have to get the disc off, put our new one on, slide it back in, check our spacing to hook up the new bracket with, and then we'll have her. These will be tricky to get out. They're small, shallow ones, and they're into the hub. So we'll have to be awful careful trying to get those out. I've got a sharpened socket that sits down in there, so hopefully that'll work for me. We'll see. So now we're going to try and get these little nuts out here, and they're flush here, and this one here looks like it's buggered up a little bit. And I've taken a little socket and I've just turned it so that it's flat there, that, you know, taking that round edge off. There's always a little bit of a round edge, and I just put it in the lathe and cut it flat, and that should help me get a decent bite on this here. Oh, what now? I'm just keep going. Yeah, is that you, Hip? Yeah, how's it going down there? Well, I'm trying to get some nuts off here, but it ain't working out real white. And I see you making fun of me in my flip phone. You think that just because I'm old that I can't step up to a new one? Well, truth of the matter is, Hip, I am with the program. I have got a real phone, so you can call me and text me and do what you want. I did want to have a flip phone because I always wanted to be like Star Trek.
Shoot a beam up, Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty. But I have to move along with the future and get myself up with technology, so text me anytime. So now we'll get back to this and see if we can get these loosened up. I don't know what's going to be the best way, but try one that doesn't look too bad. One, with the end cut off, it does fit down on there nice and flush. Two, three, yeah, bang your head. All right, now it's time for the last one. I probably should have done that first, but that's the buggered one. Let's hope we can break it loose. Sure. Yeah. I don't think it's going to come around. Come on. Got it. There we go. And you can see how the head of that one was buggered up there. And if you try to use a regular socket on that, you'd never get it out. You'd never get it out. So if you don't have a lathe, you got a buddy with a lathe, get yourself a little socket and just cut it flush. Save yourself a lot of aggravation. We've got our new one, and we've got new bolts. Now, because Frank's is a pre-2000 hub on this, we've got to use a small adapter ring that you can get for them here, and that's supposed to fit down in there. There we go. Probably not going to need those. We had to space those out in order to get the GMA line up, but we'll be doing it with spacers for the new one. So we're probably not going to need those. And that will keep it lined up like it should. Yeah, we'll try some button head bolts. torque those in. And according to the book, it says 23 to 27 pounds on a cast wheel, so that's what we're gonna do. And there we go. All right. Now I do have some things written up for suggested spacers on there, so I'm gonna have to go check my book and see. I did have some for Shovehead wheels. Again, this is a mag, so it could fit a little bit different, but I'm gonna check it out and see. So we have to get this out. I know that it's gotta go out quite a ways. So I'm gonna check those specs and see what I got. So I've turned a little spacer down here at the 365 thou space, and that seems to be just right for what we want there. So we're gonna go with that. Pretty snug fit there in some of it. So now we'll have to try and get our wheel in, and I know what the spacing is on the other side, so then I have to make a spacer for this side here. So, got her just about in place there. Put this up on there. See if I can give it a little tap. And she should go straight through there. And 290. So 365 and 290. So I need a 290 for the outside. That should fit just right. All right, I'll have to go spin one of those out and we'll take it from there. So 290. So now we've got the wheel on, got it snugged up. Just spins nice and free. As with anything, this custom made bar is gonna have to have a little bit shaved off the back of it just to fit in there. It's a little bit of an angle there. I'll just mark the back side. That should tell me where I've got to mill a little bit off, just to let that come in. It's always something when you're changing things. Move one thing, change three more is what I always say. But it looks good on there, and it fits good. And trigger should have brakes. So I was worried about clearance here in the saddlebag mounts, but we're good there. So we'll get this off. I'll take it in and mill the back side of it out there. I've put just a small scribe mark on it there so I can just thin it out a little bit so that it'll sit flat. If I haven't mentioned it today, be sure to check out my brothers down south, Hippie's Chopper Corner and Slickhead's Custom Cycles. Those boys got a lot on the go, and we're all working together and having a great time, so please support them, subscribe to them, watch their channels. We're all doing something different, so there's something for everybody. So that's Hippie's Chopper Corner. Slickhead's Custom Cycles. So I think we'll take that over and try it out. I don't want to go too far. I want to make sure that the angle is right. So we just got a little bit of an angle on it there. So now with our angle milled off there, it's just going to fit nice and square on there. So this is what we're shooting for here to get it to fit nice and flush on there so it's not bent. And as you can see, it's fitting there really well. So when it's all tightened up, it'll be right in there the way it should be. Just to be sure, we've tightened the front one first. You can see how that's just sitting there flush the way it should be. With no tension on it either way. We don't want to pull in either way. These are special sort of crimp nuts. You can see, if you look at them, they're almost oval so that they'll lock when they go on. And with the red Loctite on there, of course they won't move. Hold that one while we lock this one. There we go. Looks good. So with that done, now we're gonna go ahead and take our brake apart and flush our lines all out. I gotta check, see if I got a new brake light switch. I hope so. And we'll get that squared away. And as you can see, it fits in there just nice. Looks good on it. And that should stop Trigger in her tracks. Get rid of that old GMA and put something on there that really works those Brembo brakes. All right, now we got to work at getting our brake bracket off. These off, should be able to pull that line right out. Take care of that. There we go. So we'll take this in, clean it out. We'll take our brake lines in. Got the rear one here. Not sure what we're going to do there with that, but we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. So we'll take this in and we'll rebuild it. Now, as with the worst of it, is always cleaning it. And that's pretty cruddy. So we'll take these all apart and we'll clean all these lines. Spray brake cleaner throughout both ends. God damn stainless. Hard in the hands that when it gets frayed. I'm gonna have to check my brake line source. I'm gonna check on a few brake lines and come back. So as with anything that's been on there for a long time, you need to inspect all the parts to make sure that they're still good and that they're functional. There's no sense just putting it together and not checking, because that's when you can run into a problem, because brake lines especially are usually routed in underneath and you don't see them at all. So therefore you have no idea what's going on. But upon looking at Frank's, I can see that a lot of the sheathing is coming off, and there's a spot there that we're right down to the plastic, and there's another one here where all the sheathing is gone and it's right down to the plastic and actually rubbing on the plastic in there. Wouldn't be long before that created a problem.
Here's the drip.
Yeah, watch this.
Whoa, it's shooting out.
Brake line's got a pinhole. Grabbed it just in time.
Good thing we saw it before you rolled.
And Frank would put his brakes on, she'd just squirt right out through that. So we've got a new line that I'm going to replace that with, and the rear other one doesn't look quite so bad, but we may have to replace it as well. Now, this old puppy's been on there for a long time. Ugh. No sir. I know that some things just get harder the older I get. Baby, that's in there. And we know this brake light switch is bad because I've tested it. Not working. Before I blow it out. Make sure to get all of the old fluid that was in it out. All right, blow that out. Put a new brake light switch in it. C-clip out. Boy, that's just pretty bad in there. Just black. Now we've got our new kit. It's from BDL, evidently. To make sure to clean everything out really well, because cross-contamination is a real thing. And .5 don't like .4, and vice versa. And now we've got her all blown out and cleaned out. Sprayed all the little passages, made sure that all the small little spots, the vents and such are clear. And we're good to go. So we'll get our new kit open here. A little plastic piece in the end of our spring. And that goes down in there first. There we go, that way we'll make sure that the pin, the plastic stays in the pin and it's not interfering at all. This goes in with the cup down. A little patience trying at first. There we go. This goes in. There we go. Press it a few times, make sure that you've got your fluid through it. Get that ready to go in. Make sure that your C-clip is in there. There we go. That's all there is to it. Rubber piece back on. Now, one thing I always like to do is called bench bleeding it. Basically what that is to make sure that your master cylinder is pumping. If you wait till you put it on the bike and you go through this procedure, what will happen is there'll be a bunch of air trapped down into the plunger section. So we just push it. We can see the air bubbles coming up in it. We'll keep our finger over the end here. And as we push this in, now I see it coming up. And it's sucking my finger in. By keeping our finger over it, it's letting it get all the air in and out. And you see when I take my finger off of here, it'll squirt out there. There we go. So, I'll kind of keep that in place for now. And I'm just going to top it off. Stick our lid on there so it doesn't get drained out on me as I'm moving it around, or get a chance to get a gulp of air in it. So we'll carefully take it over to the bike, stick it in place, and go from there. All right, we'll get this back in place. Always got to be a little free play. If you tighten it up so that this doesn't have free play, you'll have constant pressure on the brake. So you always got to have that little bit of free play. Okay, now before we tie that into position, I gotta figure out what I've got going up here. Nope. Let's see if I can find a different brake line for that. So we've got it back in place here. I've got to move this jack so I can tie wrap in underneath where I want to get at. All right, so we've pretty well got it in place. I'm going to tie wrap it up here. She's going to stay right there. Looks good. Okay, now we've got it all hooked up there. The next thing to do is to try and bleed it. So I'll try it the regular way first, whereas my master cylinder is bled. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to get my bleeder out or not, but I'm gonna try it the old-fashioned way where we know we've primed it. Gonna work for me, I think, today. Still getting air out there. But she's definitely coming up now. That's it. No problem at all. I don't even have the right screws in there, so I have to wait for Frank to bring me the proper bolts. I'd say that's got our brake split. So, we've got no leaks. We'll top her off. That's brakes. So that just goes to show you, if you're dicking with your brakes like that and you can't get them to pump up, chances are you haven't bench bled the master cylinder. And by bench bleeding it, you've got pressure there. Each time you pump it, it's pumping more. And you can see it didn't take me very long and it came right up to pressure. So saved me a lot of trouble. I could have got my vacuum out and drawn, put it on here and sucked all the brake fluid through. It's another way to do it. But I find that if I take the time and bench bleed it, most of the time I can just, a couple pumps, bleed it, couple pumps, bleed it, pretty quick and you got it. Something to remember. So I've got the chain hooked back up, the master link in it, and now we're just trying to get it lined up. Just as a note, I had the stabilizer bar on this side tightened up, and because it was tightened up, I couldn't move the wheel. So make sure that the bottom stabilizer bar from your brake bracket is loose when you're trying to adjust the wheel. Now we've got it running right into place where we want it. Evenly adjusted back. We've got our sprocket running dead center in the middle of our chain. Looks good there. I think we'll go with that. We'll lock it up right there. On the money. Okay, our axle cap's back on. We're slowly getting her back together. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do those kind of things. It helps us to grow. I hope you all had yourself a Merry Christmas here. This one, I know I'm a couple days after Christmas getting this one out, and I didn't think I would. But such is the way it's gone. I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas, and I wish you all the best in the new year. I don't know, we just got a couple things left to button up on Trigger. I just got to put the exhaust on a few minor things, but we're pretty well there. Getting the brake changed was the big issue on it, and that was the major thing, and tidying up the wiring and stuff like that. I still got to stick the trailer hitch on and a few things, but for all intents and purposes, she's pretty well finished. So be sure to check us out next week. I got something a little bit different. I've been just building and not had much chance to make stuff. So I had a bit of a challenge, something I wanted to do, and it's a twin cam. It's twin cam stuff, but twin cams are getting to be the antiques now, and this happened to be an older one from 99. It was 2004, I think, so over 20 years old. but I had to make something to do the valve job on it. So you might find it interesting for those of you who are interested in doing a little bit of head work and maybe making a tool that might help you out. Stick with us next week and we'll have a little something for you there. Special thanks down there to my brothers Hippie and Slick down there. Man, what can I say? You guys keep me laughing all the time up here on the glacier, so it makes it a little better being locked in the box when it's snow outside. Actually, we don't have snow right now. Christmas time, we generally don't. So we had a little blast, a little taste scared us there, but now we're back in our normal groove of things, and hopefully it won't be too bad. So, with that being said, that's about the tune-up to where we're at. I'm actually hoping to do some other stuff here in the next few weeks too, so stick around. We got a lot of interesting projects coming up. I'll see you in the new year.